Again, our D-51 class of 282 Mikado steam locomotives. Widely known for being the most mass-produced steam locomotive model in Japan, these locomotives are popular with rail fans both in Japan and abroad. These ended up in areas that included, but aren't limited to, the Soviet Union, Taiwan, and even in Korea where they were standard gauge and were known as Mika 7s for some reason. But what if one of these ended up as far as Europe's United Kingdom? To be more specific, the Cumbrian coastline. And to be even more specific, Barrow in Furness. And if we're going to be really even more specific, a certain island off of Barrow in Furness's coast. Before we get into the meats of my ideal hero, I'd like to say a little something about how locomotives can talk in this AU. It's actually really simple. Besides the fact they can, there's actually different ethnicities. If you've seen my two little web series thingies I've made in Train the Road Simulator, you know I can imply that they have faces somewhat. They do. Although the faces is embedded to the smoke box of the steam locomotives and the front nose of the diesel locomotive. Yes, I know, I'm trying to be cool and different to how most sentient diesel locomotives in a train series are made. I mean, ugh. The windows is the eyes. Creepy. Anyways, Japan's locomotives are different. They're little somethings called railroads that are most 99% of the time are the way of the locomotives being sentient. Don't know what I'm talking about? Search on my Tetsu. You'll be very welcome when I tell you to. Hiro was not built as one of these. It was actually built with the British way, with the gray, fleshy faces that most British locomotives, yes, most if not all British locomotives have. He was built as D-51 number 51, and was built by the Kawasaki manufacturing plant in July of 1937. He was very different when he was first built, having a larger dome, no smoke deflectors, and no steam water heater. He was sent off to work on a branch line that specialized in bringing coal and passengers, as the main yard goat. That is another very lengthy to use sometimes, by the way. He worked alongside many other locomotives. One of these including a certain C-12 from a project that I haven't done. Why do you think I want to finish the first two seasons of Toronto Railroad? I mean, first season. You get that. Hiro longed to come out of the yard, and finally got his chance during a really bad typhoon, where one of the locomotives he worked with broke down during a storm. To make matters worse, it was on a bridge that wasn't really the best in terms of structuring. Due to his efforts and heroics, two things happened to him. Number one, he gained a nickname, Master of the Railway, and two, was sent back to Kawasaki, this time to receive modifications, which included a pair of smoke deflectors, not a pair, a set actually, and a steam water heater. Around 1939 or so, Hiro would receive a standardized dome done by the workmen on his line's shops, which was sent out to them by Kawasaki. Hiro's life was going swimmingly until World War II suddenly broke out, and Japan decided it was a good idea to get themselves involved. Like most of the locomotives of Japan during that time, Hiro ended up pulling supply trains. Although he is a strong engine, as the D-51s were practically to Japan what the LMS Black 5s were to, well, the LMS. He wasn't really happy having to use his strength as such a cruel thing. Nor was his manager, who was practically anti-war. Of course, the then imperialist Japanese government wasn't too happy with that, and the emperor gave him an ultimatum. Sell the pride of his line to them to be scrapped and turned into parts for the war effort, or he, the manager, would see his end at the hands of the firing squad. The manager was appalled at this. Hiro was not even a decade old. he was built in 1937. This happened in like 1941 when they threatened to sell him off, like early 1941, late 1941, early 1942, somewhere around that time, really. He was like, come to think about it, like 5 or 6 years old in terms of how long he had been in service. So, the manager decided it was a good idea to try and find a way to keep Hiro from getting turned into scrap. And he succeeded. For off the coast of Cumbria, there was a small island. Small island known as Sodor. It had all of its engines of its main railroad or railway, depending on what part of the world you're from, the Northwestern Railway. All of its locomotives were sent off to the War Department for the war effort. It was here that they decided, well, yes, of course, we can take a Japanese locomotive. And so Hiro was regauged, standard gauge, and was painted in the livery you see in the television series. And he would remain in that livery until he was abruptly retired from service around 1943 due to parts failing and general neglect from the war. He was put on an old sign that belonged to the S&M that they themselves, of course, had never used. And he sat there for many decades until one fateful day during the summer of 2009, where a certain blue steam locomotive ended up going down said disused spur branch siding thing. And from there, really, his story's really the same. Like, he's found by Thomas, he's almost really killed by Spencer. Like, Spencer wants him dead and stuff because he just wants to make Thomas feel like an emo and stuff like that. But then again, like, really, Hiro's a really good character. Like, there's not a lot of this story I can change. I just wanted to add some meat. Like, why is he the Master Rally? Stuff like that. And also fix, like, the thing of him being the first locomotive on Sodor because, well, of course, there were other locomotives before him. Just the main 6 were currently off in the War Department, and because of the Blitz, the replacements also got sent back, which is kind of confusing when you think about it. But yeah, Hiro is still in service as the NWR's number 51. He wears a modified version of the JNR's standard livery. Instead of white lining on the sides of the running board, it's actually gold. It's a nice little part of the TVS design that I really like. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep that. He doesn't have any NWR lettering, though, as I wanted to keep him more true to his basis. Like the livery that the JNR D51s wore. I'm actually pretty fond of Japanese steam. Not as fond as I'd say American or British steam, but I'm pretty fond of them. And that's really all I have to say about my Ideal Hiro. I mean, he is practically one of the characters that I haven't changed the story up the most, besides, like, Doc. That just goes to show how good of a character Hiro is. I know I probably sound like a broken record. Hiro is one of the best characters in the series. I mean, yeah, sure, he was introduced in a time where, like, railway realism and, like, the lore of Sodor was, like, absolutely dead. But a lot of people in the fandom like him, and I'm one of those many people, and I don't think I've seen a single person say that Hiro's a bad character. I mean, come on, I dare someone here to say that Hiro's a bad character. Like, you can't. You like, physically can't. Hiro is such a good character. Like, he's got a really good voice actor. Do I dare say the voice is also really good? And he's got one of the best character personalities of the whole series. That's really all I have to say about Hiro. I guess this is over.